Shall we begin?
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
Let's begin now.
Ignore me no more, or forever miss me gone. Stop caring, I will.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to paint. It makes me so excited. I've actually been painting most of today from the time I got up. But we are going to work on yet another piece from La Première Tome. And I am going to be joined. Here he is. Woohoo! Hello, mister.
Hey. How
Hi.
are you?
I am doing fantastic. Are you excited to paint with me today?
Sure am.
For those of you watching, this is Shawn Howe of The Art of Shawnzilla. If you don't know how to go find this man, you need to find out how to go find this man. I think I put his details in the info, but in case I didn't, hit me up or put a comments and we will make sure you know how to find him. How are you today?
Oh, frazzled. But I'm here. Yeah, I'm actually going to switch cameras here because you guys need to see me paint and not need to see me. And I look terrible today anyway, so we're going to...
Oh, you're always adorable. So I'm going to work on this today while I'm on with you. There's not a lot for me to do to this page, but Shawn has the original singular image of this. This is the panel story page for the same haiku. You have the original artwork of the single image. But this is there's not a lot for me to do to this one, but there is quite a bit that I want to touch up. Just some of the black areas. So,
It looks good.
thank you. Have you ever used oh, what is it called? Now I have to find it. Have you ever used abstract acrylic ink or acrylic ink in general?
No.
So look, I had this. It was in a gift box of art supplies that someone had given me.
Cool.
And this is blue. I've used that in a few of the touch-ups and stuff that I've done. And then I have that black watercolor ink. I think I told you I got some black watercolor ink.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the watercolor ink, but I think when I invest in more paint supplies, and I need paint supplies like I need a hole in my head because I have so money, but
Well, it never matters how much you have. It just because it's never the one you need.
oh my God. Well, this last time I went shopping, I was out of a few colors in my watercolor palette. And so I got those the watercolors that come in tubes. And you mix, you can add as little or as much water to them. And I'm digging that, man. I don't think I'll ever, I might, is that your other camera you added? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to kill the camera with me because,
Yeah. And I'm looking for... Oh, this is good. Are you going to stay on camera too?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, then we'll go back to this. I was picking the views.
Okay. All right, cool.
Your profile picture's so cute.
My profile picture?
So when I originally made announcements about coming on and doing finishing touches on all of this artwork, Shawn, I did publicly say that if people wanted to come in and hang out with me and chat with me while I was in here, that they were welcome to. So if we get a viewer that wants to do that, I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Oh, cool. I'm not antisocial today.
I know. Today. He says today. Other days, maybe not so much, right?
Yeah. I have dealt with the pickup line at my kid's school today, though, so I am a little salty. but I'm
Oh,
working on it.
you know, those people, parents, the only job I ever had outside of healthcare was at a portrait studio, and I was a portrait photographer. And the kids were always rad. Like, there was a few kids that were challenging. I'm not gonna say the word bad because they're kids, you know, they don't know. But the worst were the parents. Oh my God, the worst were the parents.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, the probably the most heartbreaking were the parents that would come in and get frustrated with their kid. Hi, Gory Diamond. We have someone from my Twitch world watching us. Shawn. Gory Diamond says hi.
Hi, Corey.
It's Gory with a G.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You have a bit of an echo, but that's probably the second camera.
Yeah, it's the second camera.
Yeah, he's getting set up to show us what he's going to work on. Did you know what you're going to work on? Or are you going to work on a piece?
No, I'm thinking about that.
You're still thinking?
No, I figured it out. Just gotta put everything up. I have so many that I'm working on.
You sound like me. This is why we're friends. Like, we can appreciate. We both know we're like, yeah, I got this piece. I got that. I sprayed, like seal sprayed, 3 pieces today.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm mailing them out. Because I had ran a contest, as I think you already know this. I had ran a contest for subscribers for my YouTube, and once I had gotten to 100. Yeah, I can hear you. For sure.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear. I can hear you. You can't hear me?
How about we go?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. Whatever it was.
Just my audio.
That's probably what it was. Because I could hear you just fine. I forgot what I was even saying. Oh yeah, I finished 3 pieces. I got painfully reminded today, Shawn, why I kind of use bolder colors when I worked on paper or canvas. And then I got painfully reminded of why I switched to canvas today, because I had one of my pieces is very light pink. And when I sprayed her, there was some spots on the back of the page, on the back of the paper, that I can see through her because she's such a light color.
Oh no.
I know. Yeah. So the original, I mean, it's really not the end of the world. She's still beautiful. I'm gonna wait for her to dry and work some magic on her. I mean, if I can repair a canvas piece with a hole in the middle, I think I can probably figure out a way to fix that.
I think so.
Are you confident in me?
Yeah, I
Ooh.
have total faith in you.
I don't know what that is that you're about to work on, but I am impressed.
Well,
I see a woman's face. Is it going to be sexy? Is it going to be hot?
Not really. You know, I'm keeping it PG. But
Okay.
Well, PG-13.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find a brown color pencil, which has no.
I'm so tickled pink to be getting to paint beside you. I know we're going to do this in September for the master show, but this is pretty exciting. We have about 2 or 3 people watching. For those of you that are watching, Mr. Shawn Howe is the illustrator, artist, painter, expert that is going to be and has been entrusted with the cover of my next book.
I think that's awesome that you call me an expert.
Do you like that, sweetie? Do you like that?
Sure.
Well, he is. He's too humble to probably say otherwise, but for everyone else, yeah, it's the truth.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You know what? We're going to use this tiny ass little ink tints pencil because no, we're not going to use it.
Okay. So yeah, now that I've used some of this acrylic ink, first I used this watercolor ink that I had bought, and then I came across this blue acrylic ink, and now I'm sold. I'm like, I will be spending money when I can afford it to buy a set of more of these familiar inks, because they go on super, super rad. They flow like I want. And the best part is that once they're dry, because they're a different formula or whatever, they are water resistant. Not waterproof, but water resistant, which means, Shawn, that I could actually probably see skipping the whole spraying process at the end of a piece if I use that for the entire piece,
Yeah.
Right? And they're water based, so, which I love, because it means that cleanup is easy. I'm not going to have to get I'm not going to have to get a whole separate set of brushes. That's my favorite part, is the fact that it's still water based, because that's kind of been the main reason why I probably haven't ever really gone to some of the other choices. So yeah.
Sorry, trying to get up here on this chair.
No, I'm just happy you're here. You get comfy, you get settled.
Well, I don't want to hold you up.
Where am I going? I got no job. I said, take this job and shove it, and no, I'm just kidding. No, I am on day 2 of not having the day job to go to.
How do you feel about that?
I've gotten so much done. You know what? It was the best decision I had made in a really long time. I know I will be on the mad hunt for another role in healthcare, similar to what I had. I've got 32 years of experience. I have no idea what to expect with that, because of the state of the world right now. But, so we will see. I did it knowing that I was going to have a little bit of a buffer with a few things, and I prepared for this. I prepared for this a month ago. This time off and what it was going to mean. Oh, and get this. Remember I told you I put in my shop, I put the private confidential paintings that I would be doing for people if they wanted a nude or if they wanted a burlesque type of painting done of themselves. I have one. She said I could, no names and no information, but she did say I was allowed to say that I got the commission. So that was rad. That's a good feeling, is knowing that someone wants me to paint them.
That is.
Yeah. Other than that, no one else in the world will see it other than me and her and whoever she gifts it to. So
I just did one not too long ago for a buddy from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a friend of his. He wanted this crazy pinup of, and it was so weird because it was like, okay, well, this is your girlfriend or something, right? And he's like, no, she's just a friend. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I don't have pinups of my friends, but hey, I just work here. So.
Well, one of the pieces I finished today was a self-portrait that was in my last book.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I cannot do self-portraits.
It's a self-portrait dude.
Oh, well, hey there.
Oh, hey now.
I definitely can't do those with me.
You're so cute. Well, there's a link to my shop in the. No, I'm just kidding. One of my friends, he says, you're just doing that to get nude pictures of us. You just want to get nudes of us. And I'm like, no, I am not.
Maybe.
Nah. No, it's funny, like, and I know you know this because of the kind of work you do and pieces you do. I can turn that off. Like, especially when I'm doing one of those piece type, to me in my head or my scope of frame of mind. It's not about, like, it could be a flat out nude in front of me and it's not going to feel like sex. It's not even going to feel like sexual at all because it's art. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's art. This is art I'm doing. Okay. That's it's kind of like being I would imagine it's kind of like being a gynecologist doctor who, like, some of those guys, you know, they probably, I would imagine, I mean, some of them might be creepers, but I would imagine that a lot of them do what they do and can do what they do without it being about that at all. I know I've had a few doctors, male gynecologist doctors, that were super rad. Like, they never made me feel uncomfortable. Never had one make me feel uncomfortable. So
high potential for feeling uncomfortable with that, though.
Exactly. It's kind of always kind of surprising to me when a man chooses that as his specialty. But I can understand why they do. Because men are just as drawn to creation and just as drawn to the miracle of birth as a woman is. Some men, not all men.
No, not all men, but, you know.
Were you there in the room or anything when your kids were born?
Yeah.
How'd that go? Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, yeah. You know, I was sending tweets out and everything. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was fine. I mean, I'm not gonna be one of those dads who's like, oh, just let me know when it's over.
Right? I don't know how I couldn't imagine. My boy's dad, he was there in the room for both, and that's exactly like that. What was funny was when I was pregnant, I remember, you know, I was going through, like, I was reading this breastfeeding book and I was talking about breastfeeding and stuff, and he's like, "You're gonna do that in public?" Like, he got all weirded out by it. And then when we went to a restaurant for the very first time with my oldest boy as a baby, like, it was the very first time we were sitting in a restaurant, and my kid was hungry. He was hungry. My ex was like, he was all, feed him now. Like, he didn't care the littlest, slightest that I was about to do that. You know, he's like, all he cared about was that his boy was crying. His kid was crying and his kid wanted to be fed. That is all that man cared about. And he couldn't have cared less about the fact that I was about to expose myself. Yeah, I probably would have been naked and he probably still wouldn't have cared if it meant his kid was getting fed.
Yeah, it's so weird how people are so squeamish about stuff like that. And almost say squeamish, but, you know, like, even the just being in the room, they get all weirded out.
Uptight prudes.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
Can you see what I'm working on? Because I can't see my camera.
Oh, yeah. I can totally see.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I love that flesh tone. That's nice.
This is, dude, I have like 6 of this particular marker because I always run out, and I probably have about 7 refills for it. It's the Copic E11.
Okay.
Barley beige color.
Barley.
Yeah, barley. Yeah, and
do you have pieces of other ethnicities?
Mm-hmm.
Because I love,
but it's always been something that I've been a little wary of, and I'll tell you why. Because, and it's going to sound really dumb, so prepare yourself for that. I'm so scared of inadvertently offending somebody.
Right.
When I do something, because, you know, and I shouldn't be, because I always use photo references, you know, like this one I'm using photo reference.
Yeah.
And, you know, I shouldn't be scared of offending anybody, because it should just, you know, be like, no, that looks just like the person. But there's always that in the back of my mind. It's like, I really don't want to cross any lines. I don't want to, you know, inadvertently do something that could be misconstrued as one thing when it's not. And it's not that I'm, like, you know, worried about, you know, supposed snowflakes or whatever like that.
Right.
It's just that I'm like, you know, there's enough problems and conflict right now, and I don't really want to invite any more of it.
I hear you. But if, I mean,
Well,
I imagine though that even having said that, that if you had a client who, you know, was of a different ethnicity, if they gave you their pictures of points of reference, I think you'd be just fine. I'm sure you would be, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's always worked out before, and I mean, I've done like, Michael Jordan pieces and Kobe Bryant, and
oh, yes. I think I remember seeing one of those. Is there,
and
yeah.
no, well, those aren't on my page because those are private commissions.
Okay. Then maybe I
But
didn't.
and like, there's been a couple of characters here and there that I've done of different ethnicities, and it's worked out fine. I mean, it's always me being a little paranoid, but
Yeah, I can understand why. I mean, you know.
you just don't want to, make anybody's life particularly harder, and I don't want people to look at me and go, "Oh, this guy's an asshole," blah blah blah.
Well, it's funny because our art is very different. We do some of the things we do the same, I think, but our art's very different. I actually, it's rare you're going to see me making a character, a person in one of my paintings, realistic colors. I usually use purples and I use a lot of orange. I use pink. I use like these off crazy kind of colors. And honestly, it's for a lot of the same reason. It's because I want to stay innocuous with race. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's most of my pieces are abstract anyway, and they're not really meant to be like a real thing or a real person. And so it makes perfect sense for me to use these different palettes of color. But reason
you just want to remove that from the conversation of it.
exactly,
you don't want it to be about that.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of my paintings they're not the color skin tone of a race. They're sometimes maybe, but it's rare. It's pretty rare actually. The one I finished. Yeah. The one I did today that I was telling you about, that because of the light pinkness, it was pink in the sense of a flesh tone kind of a pink. That's probably the closest to a real color of flesh I've used in a while. And then I had I do have that one. I think I mentioned her. I have a painting of the widow from Into the Badlands. She's definitely colored in the sense of what she would be in terms of her actual coloring. But that also was, but that was a specific person that I was modeling in a painting. If it's not an actual person, which it almost never is. This girl in this, she's pink. She's like a pastel pink though. Definitely not what I would call flesh colored, I guess is the way to put it. But I do what was I going to point was though, is I kind of feel like that's probably why I do that for the same, and I do it probably for the exact same reason you just said, to avoid that, without even that unintentional offense. I would rather avoid it. I would much rather.
I mean, it's just easier, and well, it's not just easier, but I mean that's part of it. But and whenever I do go into that, I always try to take special care, and make sure that it comes out correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not to say that I normally don't, but it's like I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense. Is the piece you're doing now just one you're doing, or is that a commission, or?
No, this is just what I'm doing. I decided that I wanted to have a little bit more fantasy type stuff, less fan art, less established characters, and just kind of, just kind of change things around, do some, like fantasy type art. The show that I just did, I kind of I talked with my kids who were there with me, and we kind of did a little autopsy on the show on Monday, determined that, while the comic book stuff is fun,
Right.
it's not always what you need at every particular show. So,
Well, and
like
yeah.
if I'd been more music centric or more just kind of, Frazetta fantasy type stuff, not that I'm comparing myself to Frazetta, but, if I'd had more varied stuff, I think I would have, been a little bit more popular at the show.
Mm.
But
Well, that's kind. And I know you well enough to know you're not going to get offended by this, but if you do, just promise you will talk to me and we will make friends and forgive each other. But it's why I do my art the way I do it, because the idea of having a bunch of art that's the same as everyone else or similar to everyone else doesn't appeal to me. And that's kind of part of what drives that about me. The other part of it is my own personal brain. I get really super easily bored, and oh my God, like so easily bored. So if I woke up tomorrow and you told me, Dory, you've got to paint another one of these, like the one in front of me, I'd be like, oh, can I wait a year? Like maybe I could recreate this as a duplicate or as a copy, maybe. But
no, I
am I ever gonna want to? Am I ever gonna want to? Probably not. Not like it just doesn't occur to me. And it's one of the reasons why I am so impressed by the artists that can. And I have to remind myself, it's not really, I mean, yes, some of it's skill sets, but a lot of it is just the way our brains work. The artist brain, my artist brain, is just not built that way.
Yes, of course. Sorry, my little buddy Mac is asking me about desserts. Can you say, hey, Miss Dory? Say, hey, Miss Dory.
Hello. Have a wonderful. I want a snack. I want maybe a yogurt, or what do I want? I think I might want some French toast later. I think I might be having French toast for dinner.
They're having tacos for dinner, which is part of why I was running late.
Oh, that's okay.
I had to get that at least point.
Yeah, that's okay. I came up for air after one of the pieces I finished is a piece that I am gifting to Peter Palmiotti for all of his hard work and effort in helping me get to 100 subscribers. And I finished her today, and she's the piece I was telling you about that I'm going to have to kind of look at the original and hopefully the little what is it called, imperfection honestly is probably fine, and I'm just overthinking it. But yeah. And so one of the things, and I'm starting to feel I'm going to do, now that I've got time off on my list of 1,000,001 projects, one of my things I've got to do is I've got to start building up my shop on my website, because I use my shop's on my .com, and I had this. What? It's on I have a .com. I have my own website.
Killer.
I use Etsy, but I only use Etsy for print on demand stuff. So, and I've always been kind of stingy with my art. Okay, so let me explain. I
probably know what you're talking about.
I usually will not go and put prints or clothing with the artwork. I probably usually will, or no, the clothing I'll probably do ahead of time. But I've never put a print for sale for the most part. And I definitely have never put prints for sale if I still own the original. Because in my opinion, if I still own the original, why would I give anyone the opportunity of owning a print? that's my selfishness, right? And the reason I know it, the reason I'm changing my mind about this, and the reason I'm going to build up a print shop with prints for people, is because one of my favorite painters, and I think I've mentioned to you, Kate Grzinski. She has a piece that if I could afford it, it would be the first thing I would purchase. Like if money were no object. No offense to you, my love. You know I adore you. But if I could afford it, she'd be there's this painting on her Etsy. It would be the first thing I'd go buy.
Oh no, I get that.
But I couldn't afford it. It's, rightly so. Even at what it's priced, in my opinion, it's underpriced personally to what it's worth, to what I'd actually pay. But she had prints for it on her Etsy. And I remember sitting there thinking, I need to do prints because I'm sitting here as a customer in this. So on that day, I'm not in Doris, the painter girl mode, right? I'm in the I want this beautiful woman's art. I want something of hers. I want something she's done. And I was like, this is what I can afford. And all I could really afford at the time. I do hope to get, eventually get a piece, but so I got a print, and then it finally melted that icy part of my heart that was like not allowing myself to offer prints for my work. And so today was a good day because I finished Kim. Is the name of the piece is Kim, because it's the point of reference I used was Kim Basinger from 9.5 Weeks.
Oh yeah. I mean, huh?
Yeah, well, you'll see it. I know. I might have even shown it to you. I don't know, but
Yeah,
so I finished.
I love Kim Basinger from 9.5 Weeks.
Yeah, and it's the scene. It's just a side view scene image. I paused my TV and I sketched it while it was paused, and it's just a side view of her during that ice cube scene.
Jesus.
No, it's just her head. There's no body in there. It's basically from the neck up, Shawn. So, you'll get more.
To you, man. Back in the day, I wanted to be Mickey Rourke so freaking bad.
Who wouldn't? Okay, even me. Like, come on. I put her in the same category as Lucy Lawless. The women I would go gay for,
Oh, man. 9.5 Weeks and Wild Orchid. Both of those.
Oh, yeah. Yep. They're
Mickey
good.
Rourke Skinamax type movies, but they weren't really Skinamax type movies. They were just.
No, they were. Yeah. And actually, 9.5 Weeks was a novel. It was it was more like a short story, but I read it, and the book is super good. The book is actually, it's way darker. The movie, honestly, I was on a stream the other day and they were talking about today's state of the world. And, I was thinking about the word snowflake, and today's day and age, I don't think 9.5 Weeks would get produced. I don't think that studios would be brave enough to put that out.
Oh, no.
Because,
I'm honestly surprised that they made 50 Shades.
Mm-hmm.
But, 50 Shades is like just terribly written. It's some of the worst crap I've ever read. And it's not that I'm being a prude, because you know me, I am by no means a prude.
Right, exactly.
I'm like,
this is why we get along.
Yeah. Like, this was written by a little middle school girl.
Yeah, I've never read the book, but I remember I've watched the first movie because I was just like, okay, let me see. And all I can say is amateur hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to share my personal intimate experiences and my own personal information about my life, but it's real amateur hour for anyone who's watching. It really, keep coming back if you think that's the height of that life or doing that kind of, behavior. It's so not. What is more accurate is, have you ever seen Secretary with James Spader?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is far more correct in terms of depicting a dom with a fetish kind of a situation with a submissive. That's far more accurate. I mean, it's a little different. The fetish was a little different, but still, it was way more accurate. And James Spader, oh my God, thank God the Blacklist came along, because he, in my opinion, had been underrated as an actor for a really long time. He was, oh, I love that. I know. And he was just always so much better than what he was given credit for. And so then the Blacklist comes along and I'm like, yes, finally a role where he can just go in his full James Spader perfection as an actor. I love it. He was pretty good in Boston Legal too, though. That was pretty good, actually.
I never actually watched Boston Legal.
Oh my God, Shawn, you'd love, if you like, you don't even need to like legalese stuff. If you like comedy, William Shatner is in that. And William Shatner is fucking hysterical. He is just one of the funniest men. He's 100% comedian. 100% comedian. One of the funniest men ever. His timing, his comedic timing, and you could, even in the original Star Trek, he had a lot of comedic timing that was just perfect. It was spot on. So I switched to black acrylic because that watercolor ink is rad, but I'm doing kind of what needs a little more permanence to what I'm doing. So I switched to an acrylic because to me, there was having to go to the water was not a good thing at all. So not that you were paying attention to what I'm doing, but
I can't actually see what you're doing because I'm using my phone as the camera.
Oh yeah, I'm the same.
I was asking.
I look up every now and then to look at what you're doing, but because I have two cameras. I have my laptop with the stream going, and then I have my art is actually I've got a camera on the art that's a separate camera.
Oh, okay. See, that's how I normally do things with Will. I've got a tablet, and then I've got my phone.
Yeah.
But I killed the tablet.
I do have a hard stop. We started it at 3:45. I have to be on Marmalade, the Marmalade Hour with RJ at 5. And so I forgot to tell you that. I totally forgot. I'm sorry.
I promise it's okay.
No, I usually, you know what? I mean, I try when I'm painting, and you already know this because you've hung out on my painting streams a few times. Not the whole time though, because I'll come on live and I'll sit here for 2 fucking hours before I realize that 2 hours has passed, and I go, oh shit. You know?
I get that.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, but we still got about 20 minutes. I was gonna say 3:40. I was gonna say 4:45. Would be about the time. He said, I've got the link and everything, so I know as long as I'm not late, I will be good. I can't stand being late.
I hate it, but I end up being late almost constantly.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
I'm constantly running and doing things and running and doing things and running and doing things.
Yeah, single dad life.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So I saw your thing that you were doing some edits to your Patreon. Tell me about that. What have you set up on there? Have you set any tiers up?
Well, I have not set up everything. I'm looking into a couple of things.
Did you like the basics of what was on there?
Yeah, I like the basic, the feel of it. But what I'm looking at is, and I'm
I was talking about what I did. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was shamelessly pointing out, did you like what I did? I used with a picture or what, like that. I'm so fun. I'm such a bad.
My bad. I'm
such a shit. No, I was asking about me, Shawn. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're fine.
Well, I found a local source that I've used for prints.
Oh, good.
And I don't like to use them for prints because they don't really do my prints right. But I know, right?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Well,
how hard is it to do a print? Like, what are they getting wrong? You just heard me say I'm about to be doing more prints for my customers, so I need to know.
That reminds me, I got some people to tell you about for your prints.
Okay, because I want to know, like, what goes wrong, because I want to avoid this. So you tell me,
Well,
what do I need to avoid?
all my prints are two sizes, 11 by 17 and 5 by 7.
Okay.
And if I go into a place and tell them I need X amount of 5 by 7 of, whatever prints, I don't need that many in 11 by 17. But they seem to get it wrong, and then they print them on 12 by 18, and they're like, oh, well, the image is 11 by 17. Look, dude, I don't want to sit here and cut this stuff because I will screw it up. So,
No, they better not even try to give me shit I gotta cut. That's not fucking happening.
No,
It's definitely not.
I'm like,
And-
no,
but,
I'm not cutting
they're
anything.
they're just not as high quality as some of the prints that I've gotten from Antonio D at Artist Express. He's amazing, and he is your friend. And if you're ordering X amount,
Well, I'm never going to be ordering in big quantities. That's where that's where I'm at, because I'm not at that stage. Like, I don't have as much of a customer base, and I don't have a bunch of people asking. And so I'm probably going to go with, the smallest quantity for what I can afford. Like, I got those posters, those 11 by 17 posters, and I got them from Vistaprint, and they're perfect in my opinion.
Great. Vista does a great job, and that's who did my banner. And
Well, they do my business cards, and they did my business. I have a bag that has my business logo on it and stuff, and everything so far that I've gotten from them, I love. So
I'm about to do bags with my logo on them.
I got mine from actually Vista has a sister company called Unique or something like that. So I did have to create a separate account for the bag. But it's like this cool canvas bag. There's a pocket on the side. Actually, there's two pockets. Put my logo on it. It was pretty affordable. I only got one to sample it and kind of see what it looked like, so that down the road I can get more as giveaways or whatever. But those are things, there's a lot of things I want to do that I just never had time to sit and do.
Yeah, I've enlisted my daughter to make me a logo because she's really good at it. And,
yeah.
You try to always, throw your kids some work. I decided over the weekend that's one thing that I'm going to be doing is doing a bag, because I'm going to try to have a lot more tangible stuff.
Right.
I have buttons from Pure Buttons, and they
Nice.
are great. Yeah, and what was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's okay. I know, one of the things I'm offering in my campaign, and I'm already there because I got I got past the halfway mark. So all of my physical backers are going to get a 5x7 postcard and a patch.
Oh, cool. I saw your patch design, which is cool.
Well, the one I changed it to a sticker. And Shay with Red Valkyrie. She's kind of toying with some of my images because she knows patches far better than I do, and I've never really done a design. And it was really rad, actually, because by the time we got to a certain point in the conversation, I'm like, Shay, how about you just go design this patch for me? Because I really don't need the credit for the patch design, and I don't know patches like patches. So my final patch design probably be what Shay decides on. And that is perfectly fine by me. And so I know my backers are probably not going to be bothered by the fact that she designed it, because it's Shay. Like, that's her jam, man. And so but the little Speedy Dory Maryland chick that you're talking about, I'm making her a sticker.
That is awesome. She needs to be a sticker.
She's going to be a sticker. I've got Sweet Girl's going to be a sticker, similar to the piece you have. Only I did some digital coloring. I took it and I digitally colored her, and I put La Premiere Tome on it with my logo. So it's probably going to be like the centerpiece sticker of the sticker set is Sweet Girl. But we won't get a sticker page set of stickers unless I get to 150% funded.
Nice.
I'm going to do a sheet of Dory Speedy stickers at, actually, I got a backer yesterday, so it does put me, actually, I think the Dory Speedy stickers is when I get to 75%. I don't want to misquote my stretch goals anymore because I misquoted my stretch goal once before and I messed myself up. But I mean, not to anything detrimental. Like I'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I want to say when I think it's 75% that I'm going to be able to afford, because I did all this math. I hate fucking math, but I did the math. Shawn, I did the math, and then, so at 75%, I can add a sheet of Dory stickers to it. So that's cool.
That's super cool.
I know.
I'm
just so excited.
I'm pretty excited for you, man. And believe me, I'm watching this because, hopefully soon I'll be doing my art book through Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whoever.
Yeah.
Most likely it'll be Indiegogo because I'm not a CG person, but that doesn't seem to matter. And yeah.
I was blocked by the same person that blocked other people for probably the same reason, and I've never ever met the woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I have a feeling that she's gonna get herself gone pretty soon.
Yep. Well, I went with Indiegogo because as a customer, and this is just my personal opinion, it wasn't ever CG related. I went with Indiegogo because as a customer, I cannot stand the money not coming out of my account. Even last week when I had a day job, no, we're not doing this thing where I have to remember that this money is going to come out. I did back a few campaigns like that. I actually backed like 2 or 3 on Kickstarter, and I will still probably go on there and back, someone I want to support. I'll probably do that. But I went with Indiegogo from the perspective that I prefer that. I prefer the fact that they take the money right away. I got no interest. Me as a customer, I have no interest in having to figure out or when that money's coming out later. I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
If it's me, I'm like, you better take it while I have it.
Exactly. This is kind of the point. You better take it while I have it.
Yeah, because
so true.
Because if I check my account and I've got like $7 or whatever, I'm like, okay, well that's what I can work with. And
exactly.
then it's gone. Oh well, shit. Yeah.
That's how I am. And I did kind of I set up a draft campaign on Kickstarter for my book, the one that you're doing the cover for, because I was curious about their software and how the software worked. And as soon as I went over to Indiegogo and started kind of looking at their software and the way things are set up, I'm like, yeah, I'm going here. I'm going to do this because I'm also kind of a snob when it comes to software. And if your software, if it has a lot of like things, I don't know, I'm really picky.
No,
so,
well, you have to be. This is your baby.
Yeah.
And I've decided, because I think that what I'm going to offer, I know I'm at least going to do it with my book, is this local company that I try not to use for prints. They do amazing T-shirt work. So I'm going to offer a shirt as at least a reward.
Yeah, I have a T-shirt that I need to go put on my Indiegogo. Actually, it's like you're reading my mind, Shawn, because I
yeah, we got to talk about some of the other stuff that you got in your mind.
That's probably more for a private conversation.
Yeah,
maybe. Oh, I'm digging this acrylic black I got. I had black watercolors. I had this other black acrylic that I had gotten at the cheapy store, and then I had all these different blacks. And so last time I went to Michael's, I ended up on the watercolor aisle, or the paint aisle actually, I should say. And I was standing there for like the longest time because this is just, I personally feel like I can't find a black that's black enough. And I'm like, why is that so difficult? Why can't they get a black enough? And I'm standing in, so luckily there was, out of the blue, there was this other guy on the aisle with me. He comes around the corner or whatever, and he's a painter, and he does very similar abstract kind of watercolor, abstract acrylic type stuff. Oh my God, I was in that store for an extra half hour talking to that man, and he showed me this black. It's by Winston Newton, and it's a Galleria acrylic called Mars Black. That's what I'm using.
Okay.
And I'm digging it. It's the black I've been looking for in a way. You know, like I was at the point, Shawn, I was gonna get my liquid eyeliner tattoo. I have this eyeliner that's a tattoo grade eyeliner. So when you use it, it stays on for like 12 hours or shit. Or it stays on basically until you take it off. And I was going to use that on one of my pieces. I was like, you know what? That's just black.
I know people who do that, who will use like their makeup brushes and their lip liners and things like that.
Yep. I've used liquid lipstick in my paintings before on a red. I couldn't get the right red.
They said that I couldn't even.
Well, let me deal with him, okay, buddy?
Okay.
Yeah, because I already told you could. His siblings try to step in and like help while I'm doing stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I've known quite a few people who've done it, and it's at the point now where I'm like considering doing it, because although this pen, I don't know if you can see it or not, they sell these open box at Michael's. They're called Tombow dual brush pens. And these
I saw those when I was there.
Yeah, they're like a watercolor.
Okay.
And they're my go-to for hair. A lot of shadowing, like like I'm doing right here with the black in her dress.
Right.
Things like that. Anytime I want something with that cool brush pen,
That's
and
cool.
that's the actual sound it makes. But they cost about $2 a piece.
Oh
which
yeah.
is really cool. And yeah, I
think if I were doing the kind of, like I always do, like, I don't know, I had kind of gotten out of buying things that were in the small sizes, I guess, mostly because I started working on canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, though, I hadn't switched from palette watercolors. I was still using those watercolors that were on a palette, where you add the water to your brush and then you go to the palette or whatever. I bought this last time I went. I bought a set of watercolors that are in the tube, so it comes out like a cream, and then you add the water to it. And I sat there the first time when I used it, and I was pulling it out and realizing how much I was going to be able to do with what I had had taken out of the tube. And I was laughing at myself going, the fact that I've been working on canvas and hadn't switched to these is kind of funny. It's kind of ludicrous, actually, because it will take me twice as long to do a canvas painting just because of the small amount of, or small quantity or way that I have my paint. And I'm sitting there feeling dumb because I'm like, I probably should have switched to these tube paints long ago. The palette works fine for these pieces I did for the haiku because I'm working on paper. But anyway, to make a long story short, when I go back to do it, the next time I do a canvas piece, I'm going to have fun because I'm going to be using those, and I'm not going to be inhibited by these small little palettes of color on on this thing where I'm adding the water to it and stuff. I'm going to have tubes of this stuff, that I can just go crazy on, making a lot of the watercolors.
Mhm.
So I'm excited.
I'm excited to see how it works for you.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, there's a couple of pieces in the book, like the one I'm doing right now. This visual that I have with the scissors and the lips and stuff, I kind of think I want to do a canvas painting of that. Similar to, I took one of the fine art paintings on canvas I have in the campaign is called Bridges, and it is actually it's a painting on canvas, but it originated on one of the panel story pages of the haikus. But I love the bridge so much. I love that imagery of the bridge that I recreated it on canvas. And I plan to do that with a few of the pieces from the haiku book. The ones that pull to me or draw my attention or get my whatever. I'm like, I'm going to want to do a canvas painting.
They catch your eye.
Oh, yeah. Well, like the one you have, that's the sweet girl you have. She's definitely going to be a canvas piece. 100% I'm going to create her on canvas. For sure.
Oh,
that goes without saying. I mean, like she's
good.
Right? I know you like her, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, you and Pops are the only people so far. I mean, more people are they're going to, pages of artwork like the one I'm working on. Those are all part of the campaign. But Pops has an original and you have an original so far. So.
That's because I'm awesome.
Well, of course. Hello. This is understatement. But hey, I know you're not done. And I apologize that I didn't forget about needing to have a hard stop to go on RJ's show, but I do want to give myself enough time to get a human break in and go brush out my hair so I don't look like a total ratchet street thug. But I do I thank you for coming on and hanging out with me. I'm gonna switch this before I do anything else. I'm gonna switch this to solo layout for you. So for those of you watching, we can get a good view. Oh, can you move the camera or you a little bit so I can see the whole thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's kind of cut the other way. Go the other way with. Nope. There you go. Nope. It needs to go more towards your right hand, I think. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. What? Oh, is that a horse?
Yeah.
I kind of like, it's funny, Shawn. This is kind of like a reveal, the way you just did that. You're like, that was so cool. Oh, that's going to be absolutely fucking gorgeous. She's already gorgeous. She's already drop dead gorgeous, but I can see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
I almost am happy that we're going offline and people will not get to see it until it's done.
Well, I may do some Facebook Live with it later.
Do it, dude. Do it.
Yeah, this really cool chick in California I know, she does a lot of Facebook Live stuff, and she's kind of got me wanting to do something.
You need to do exactly like this. Put it on your art and go to it. Well, you see me. You know I'm doing it. You see me doing it.
Oh yeah.
And so then I'm gonna put myself. This is the piece that the only thing left I'm gonna do to this for the most part is I'm gonna go in these separation lines that are between the panels. I'm gonna do some acrylic there to kind of blacken up like I did the sides. I'm digging this black acrylic as a finish here,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with mine. And otherwise,
That black is so freaking
Do you-
deep. You weren't kidding.
So, can you see the difference between the border and the
Yeah.
middle? I haven't put it on the middle yet. Now the middle was a marker. This is the acrylic, and I love how it's got this smooth. There's a texture to it that's really pretty, from my perspective. But yeah, I'm gonna do that to the center stuff as well. But I'm gonna play my exit video, hun, and then hop off. And so you're more than welcome to hop out once I got the video playing. And again, thank you for hanging out with me and coming on.
Oh, no problem.
Okay,
Thank
love
you for having me.
You're welcome. Hope to see you live later. Go do it after RJ's show though, okay? So I can watch.
Okay.
All right, love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Shall we begin?
This is not a drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
Let's begin now.
Ignore me no more, or forever miss me gone. Stop caring, I will.